Hello, my little shrimps, it's Carla, and I'm here again in my kitchen today with one of my favorite recipes from That Sounds So Good. Today I am making herby shrimp with kimchi tomato sauce. This dish has a lot going for it. It has had a little bit of a glow up. I will go through those changes with you as I demo it. What's magic about this dish is that it comes together in one pot. So there's lots of butter, there's kimchi going with that, there's tomato, there's bouncy shrimp. So you've got a lot of really deep umami flavors. You got some spice, you got some tang. It's really delicious, and I can't wait to make it again. If you've never bought Tteok before or had Tteokbokki, which is like a delicious Korean dish that you should go out and eat, this is what you're looking for in the market. They're rice cakes made from kind of smashed and bashed rice that's then shaped into these different shapes. If you cannot find them, just make the original dish and serve it over rice. But I really encourage you, if you've never had them, this is a textural QQ bonanza. One of the things you need to do before starting the recipe is cover these in cold water and let them soak for 20 or 30 minutes, because this is gonna help them hydrate. So instead of getting kind of just like tough and hard when you cook them, they will cook up really chewy and firm and delicious. I'm gonna use 1 cup of this kimchi along with its juices. I wanna have it chopped up so I'm not getting like big pieces of kimchi in the finished sauce. One of the easiest ways to do that is to just go in with a pair of shears and cut the kimchi while it's in the jar. So just like roughly chopping into slightly smaller pieces. It depends on the brand of kimchi. Sometimes you'll get like an entire cabbage leaf. Some of them are a little bit more already broken up. Everything is gonna happen in the same pot. So choose something. This is a 3-quart. You wouldn't wanna go too much below a 3-quart. It could get a little too full for stirring. And choose a pan that you have a lid to, because there will be moments where we need to cover it. The first ingredient is butter. 1 stick of butter. I just wanna cook this over medium heat until it is foaming. If I cut it into little pieces, that would happen faster. All right, now that the butter is foaming, I'm gonna add the first ingredient that is a deviation from the original. But remember, folks, recipes are living, breathing things, and even when they're your own, you can with them. So this is gochujang. It's got sweetness, it's definitely got sourness, it's got spiciness, it's got tang, and it's just gonna deepen and enrich the sauce. I'm stirring in the gochujang into this foaming butter. It's quite hot until it's broken up into small pieces and almost looks like it might emulsify with the butter. So this is a little bit like cooking out tomato paste. There is a good amount of sugar in this mixture, so you don't want to burn it. You'll notice that it kind of darkens slightly in color. And once you see that, you can go ahead and add about 1 cup of kimchi with its juices. That's a really great smell. You want to cook this out about 3 minutes or so, just to kind of get all of those juices starting to warm up and come out of the kimchi. It'll soften a little bit, get some bubbling of the kimchi liquid. Things are happening with the butter, and it's gonna be really quick. Now that this is at a nice simmer, I'm going to add some cherry tomatoes. I use cherry tomatoes in the development of this dish because you can kind of always get them and they're usually pretty good. If you're in high tomato season and you have a beautiful beef steak, you know, chop that up and add that. Tomatoes have sweetness, they have juiciness. The kimchi, along with tomato, has a lot of umami. Butter has umami. So we're just loading up on a lot of ingredients that add deepness and richness to the sauce without having to add like tons of ingredients. Cook for a couple minutes. What I want is to see the tomatoes start to shrivel a little bit, releasing their juices into the sauce. Things I want to see when I open this lid: shriveling, shrinking, skin splitting, simmering. All of these things are happening. Gently pressing down with the back of the spoon on the tomatoes to get them to do their thing. Don't smash them to smithereens. I want a little bit of the shape and like something to bite into from the tomato. And at this point, add the tteok that have been soaked and drained. And along with this, I'm just gonna add a little bit of water so that they have enough available liquid to like do their plumping thing that they need to do. And these are just gonna get a little bit of a head start before the shrimp go in, but I don't wanna cook them to their end point because they will continue to cook in the next step. This looks saucy and great. I'm gonna let it come back to a simmer and cover and cook again for 3 minutes. All right, let's take a look. Oh my God, it smells ridiculous. Kimchi, butter, and tomato are making me crazy. The tteok is like plumped up. It's absorbed some liquid. And because it's really hot, I just want to cut into it. Yeah, so it's like chewy, but it's firm. Oh my God, it tastes so good. So I wanted that like nice lively simmer for all of the other phases. Now I want to turn the heat down. I want to cook the shrimp very gently, almost poaching them in this liquid because that will make them the most tender that they can be. We love tenderness in people and we love it in our shrimps. The cook time on the shrimp might be something like 4 or 5 minutes. They're going to release a little liquid while they cook as well, so this will get even saucier. Make sure everybody is submerged. Resist the urge to crank the heat. That's how you get tough shrimps. Just cooking to the point where they're opaque. That should take 3 to 5 minutes. While the shrimp are poaching, I'm going to do my herby part. This is basil. You can really be kind of free with the herbs that you want to use. Cilantro, chives, scallion greens, and whites would be really great. Any kind of basil too. The purple basil and the opal basil are gorgeous and taste really delicious. I want to wait till the very last second to do this just so the basil stays nice and green. It's going into like a fairly high acid environment and that will just make them oxidize and turn the herbs black. So just wait till the end. Cutting through your herbs once as opposed to like chop, 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 chop a million times will also help keep it green. So just be nice. Shrimp check. Okay, they're not quite there, but I'm very pleased with this level of boublage. Gonna stir them because obviously the guys on the bottom are gonna be hotter than the guys on the top. This is also one of the changes from the original recipe. In the original, I cut the shrimp into little pieces. It's knife work that I just no longer feel like doing, and I like seeing the whole shrimp. All right, these are done. They're completely opaque, but just because we've been checking them. I just want to check the seasoning. You may or may not have noticed there's been no salt added to this, and that's because the gochujang is pretty highly seasoned, as is the kimchi, and the shrimp themselves can be like pretty salty, so you don't always need much salt at the end. 2 things I'm gonna add. A little bit of lemon juice just to like wake everybody up. You could absolutely use like a dash of rice vinegar in its place. And I'm gonna give that a taste. Delicious. And now I feel like it can take a little bit of salt. You could definitely use salt for salting. I'm going to season with a little bit of soy sauce. And I've killed the heat at this point just to make sure the shrimp don't go over. All right, one last taste. Delicious. In goes the basil. Just fold that through. It's done. Ironically, or maybe not, I don't know if this is irony, but I would 100% eat this also over rice. With the rice cakes, with the tteok in there, and have a double carb kind of a night. So saucy, so buttery, so shrimpy, so kimchi-y. She's excited. It smells insane. It's like the buttery fermented chili tomato smell is absurd. I'm gonna try one of these tteok. It's the chewiness. It's such a special. I'm just eating a whole shrimp now. Sweet and delicious, not overcooked. This to me is 100% comforting. Spicy food in general is my comfort food. I don't say this a lot, but I'm gonna say it right now. There is nothing not good about this. It is only good things that only get better when they're together. Don't sleep on this one.